In this episode of the IT Experts podcast, I'm going to help all you IT and tech business owners who are in absolute overwhelm, busy being busy, don't really know what to focus on, because this episode is all about time management. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the IT Experts podcast, the only podcast to help ambitious IT and tech business owners increase their sales, profit and productivity. So hi there, it's Ian, and in this episode of this podcast, I'm just going to help you get yourself organized a little bit more and help you with some time management tips that are specifically for kind of tech business owners. Now, the reason that I put this podcast together is because everybody right now, you know, in the time that we're at, which is kind of hopefully coming out of this horrible pandemic that we're going through, everyone's been really busy. But have you been busy taking your business to your next level, or have you just been busy filling up some time? And particularly for me, in the last, probably in the last couple of weeks or so, I've found myself being really, really busy, but kind of not really achieving the things that I want to achieve, you know, in the business as such. And I'm getting this feeling from the community as well, and from the peer group and the IT experts community. And I thought what I'll do is I'm just going to write down, just going to give you kind of like my 8 top tips, the things that have helped me out, the things that help the community clients out, and the things that are helping out the IT experts mastermind as well. So look, I get the fact that a lot of people right now, whether you're in tech support software or whether you're in any other kind of tech-based businesses, that a lot of your teams are probably going to be remote. You know, you're going to be remote from your workplace. You're probably not going to be in the office, and your time is absolutely precious. And, you know, there's only so many hours in a day. There's only, you know, so many minutes in each hour, and there's only so much that we can actually do in those minutes. And when you then reflect, and I do a lot of learning and you know, kind of looking at what other businesses are doing, there's some people who are really, really successful, businesses that are really, really successful, and then there's some businesses that are, you know, not so successful. And the rate of businesses that are not successful and, you know, kind of fold within the first 3 years is quite frightening. But particularly as we're going through this business change right now, the ones that are successful, really easy to work out why. They're productive. They're just being productive. They're just smashing it every day. They're focusing on the one thing. They're being disciplined in what they're saying. And I always used to say, I think we've got a time management book on the website there, which helps you understand like kind of some of the basics of time management. And I always used to think that time management was all about discipline, but it's a little bit more than that. It's about making sure that you're focused on what you're doing, making sure that your team are aligned with what you're doing. So look, whether you're in any of the tech disciplines right now, this is going to help you out. It's going to help you get yourself more focused. It's going to help you understand what you need to do to get more out of each day. I guess just before we get into the points, if you're finding yourself in overwhelm, if you're finding yourself being busy, if you're finding yourself not achieving what you set out to achieve in any given, you know, week, month, day, whatever it might be, it's because you're doing too much. It's absolutely simple. You're just doing too much. You're trying to do too much. You're trying to cram too much in. You're not making enough allowances within your day. You're not allowing yourself, you know, for that ad hoc call when somebody phones up with a P1 inquiry and the whole world's got to stop and you've got to focus on doing that. You're not you know, accounting for when one of your employees or when your development teams rings up and's got a problem, might have a personal problem that you've got to deal with. You know, you're not expecting, you know, any of the eventualities of any tech going wrong and it wiping your day out. Now, what I'm not saying is to go and, you know, leave the day as an absolute free for all and let anybody do what they need to do. But you need to kind of get some structure in there. And it's all about making sure that we set our own expectations, because if anybody's like me out there, what you'll end up doing is you'll end up feeling that you've got to put a load of stuff in your diary. You've got to try and achieve a load of stuff. When in actual fact, when you use kind of Pareto's 80-20 rule, you don't actually have to achieve that much stuff to get your business goals and to get those targets met and, you know, to help your business scale and grow. So we've got 8 points here I want to cover off. And the first one is all about having a business and a personal vision. Now, you might think, what on earth has that got to do with productivity? But if you think about any journey that you're taking, whether it be a business journey, whether it actually be travel, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, the first thing that you do is you visualize what's going to become your end goal. You visualize what you want to achieve. So we talk about this quite a lot in the mastermind, and it's all about Do you want to sell your business at the end of it? Do you want to run it and you carry on being the head of the business? Do you want to run it and then sell the products and sit on a beach and watch people pay you after you've developed all of the, all the software solutions or your CRMs or whatever it might be? But it's really important that you have a real clear vision on your business. So knowing what you want to do with your business is really important, because what it helps you do is it helps you align your activities, it helps you align your time, and it helps you align the rest of your team and your, the main things that you're going to be doing in your day to achieve the tasks that get you that goal. Likewise, in your personal life, again, what is the most important thing, and the vision for your life? Is it to work, kind of 4 days a week? Is it to have so much time off, the holidays, and et cetera, et cetera? Now, you're not going to get that quality family time. I'll use my own example, which is one of the things that I thrive for. If you're running around trying to please everybody in business, or if you're running around trying to do things that don't focus on that quality time, one of the things I learned many years ago is how much I absolutely love DIY. If I pay someone else to do the painting and the decorating and things like that around the house, I'm actually going to get some time back. It's like, how many times has your wife or your husband said, how long are you going to be doing that? I used to say the more times you ask, the longer it'll be. But, you've always got the task, and then you've got everything that goes either side of the task. So you've got the getting the paintbrushes ready. Then you do the painting. Then you've got to clear it all up again. And that's no different in business. Each time you change activity, each time you change the way that you're doing something or a task, it normally takes about 15 minutes to readjust and get back into the groove again, and then get focused on the thing on the task in hand. If someone's then disrupting you with your phone, because the phone's ringing and the email's going off and you've got the little notification bells and all of that kind of stuff going around, then you're just going to get absolutely distracted. So having a really clear vision, what you want to achieve in your business, how many clients is it? When does the project need to be finished? What is that? What does winning look like to you? And then in your personal life, I need to make sure I'm home for 12 o'clock because we've got to take little Johnny to X, Y, and Z. I want to make sure we've got everything done. So when I'm on holiday, I'm focused on holiday, those types of things. So have a real clear vision for your business and for your personal life. Okay, point 2 is around having, really understanding the 80-20 principle. I don't like to-do lists. They're not the kind of thing. I like to have more of like a vision and a purpose list and a long-term view on what's going on, then the activities that go towards that list. If you have a to-do list, what ends up happening, you put a great big line of things down on the list, and it's a bit of a self-gratification thing that when you've completed that list, you think you've won. Well, guess what? You haven't, because what you're actually going to do, you're going to go on to the lower level tasks, the ones that aren't going to serve you, the admin tasks, the quick ones, to get that quick fix, to get that gratification, to say, yeah, I've done my to-do list. Brilliant. Aren't I great? But in actual fact, the most horriblest task, and we're going to be talking about eating frogs a little bit later on, is probably the one that's going to get you where you need to be. It's probably the one that you've been procrastinating about. So look back at, the kind of whole theory about the 80-20 principle, the Pareto's law, that 20% of the work that you do actually delivers 80% of your results. 20% of your clients probably deliver 80% of your profit, and so on and so forth. That kind of goes through the whole things in life. Now, once you've actually got that mastered, and you then refer back to your business or your personal vision, depending on which part of your life you're kind of focusing on, guess what's going to happen? You're going to achieve more because you're going to be doing the best task that's going to get you nearer and closer to that objective. And then you're going to be focused on it in time. So what we do with this is we just focus on the one thing each day that we need to do to take the business or to achieve that task. It might be to write a proposal. It might be to send some documentations out to a client to help them get on board. It might be to write a project spec or to understand exactly what it is that you need to do. But if you go back to your original task, and let's just keep this simple in terms of, if you're like an IT support company, it's to get so many customers on board paying X, Y, and Z. If the tasks that you're doing aren't relating to that objective, then you need to really think about whether or not they're worthwhile doing. And the one thing that you need to do each day that you need to focus on and to get that covered off so that you actually cover that off. And really, normally when you think about it, whether it be in a week or whether it be in a day, a week, or a month, the one thing is the most important thing, for your business. So for example, if you were kind of in software, around a project or to get a proposal out, if you were trying to get, let's say you were trying to get a validation on a solution that you were providing, the most important thing, you're not going to get that project out there in the marketplace so you can go and sit on your beach until you have got someone to validate it. So the one thing for that week might be, how do I get my product, service, or solution validated? Who do I need to speak to? And if your tasks in your day and if your tasks in your calendar don't revolve around that one thing to get that product validated, don't do it. That's the kind of the space that we need to be thinking about. It's thinking about the one thing that helps us. And once you've got that one thing, share and communicate with your team, and then other people know kind of what's going on in your head. So point 3 is all about leadership, and it's around delegation. The shadow of the leader is something that I learned very, very well in corporate. If you're running around like a headless chicken, guess what the rest of your team are going to be doing? If they think that you're not in control and you're in overwhelm and you're panicking and you're not, being composed and acting like a business leader, they're going to think, well, if he's running around like that, then I can run around like that. If he's missing deadlines like that, then I can run around, miss deadlines like that. So you're not going to be able to do all of the tasks yourself. You are going to get, some of the lower level tasks in. And we talk about the 10, 100 and £1,000 tasks in our mastermind group. And the £1,000 tasks are the ones that you need to be doing to close your business. £100 tasks are kind of skilled work, but that's what you can delegate to your management team. And the £10 tasks that require kind of a £10 an hour skill set tasks are the ones that you delegate to your kind of tech teams or your support team. The really important thing here is that you have an aligned leadership strategy, you have an aligned accountability, and also so that you know what other people are doing. And when I spoke a little bit earlier on about making sure that your remote teams are all lined up, how are you checking to make sure that on the performance of your remote teams? And I think we're going to be doing a podcast in the next few weeks about that, about assigning leadership accountability through remote teams as well, to kind of help you out with that. But whatever you're doing, when you're passing tasks over to other people, how are you making sure that number one, they understand what they want you to do and the level of service and what complete and good looks like? And the second thing is that how does that fit in within their diary, so that we know that they're actually going to get it completed, and it was a worthwhile exercise in you delegating it. So making sure if you're delegating, if you're passing over, that you're making it clear, you're making it concise, people know what it is, when it needs to be done. And always build in a bit of a buffer as well, because they're probably going to be late while they're getting used to this process. So number 4 is all about just work your calendar. Just work your calendar. Make sure that you plan out the week in advance. Make sure that you block time out in your diary. Now, I used to be a great advocate and I talk a lot about blocking out time in the diary. But the most important thing right now that I've kind of realized is that blocking out time in your diary is really important. But the most important thing is protecting it. So I'm going to put a task in my diary for next Tuesday. Right now, it's really important that I get that done, because it's going to help me grow a particular part of my business. So today is really important. I'm going to do it next Tuesday at 9:00. So go and have the weekend, spend the time with the family and the kids, come in on a Monday, and I've got a high priority call from a client and the help desk has gone crazy, or the project's gone to the wall, or whatever it might be. So all of a sudden, by Monday afternoon, the priority has changed on the Tuesday morning's appointment. But because it's only with myself, because I'm just writing a proposal, I could do that on Tuesday night or whenever it is. I'll move it around. No, don't do that, because it was important on Friday. It's still important on Monday. It's just that you've been distracted. It's just that you're now thinking about something else that you think is a higher priority, which it probably is. And you need to address those things. But you need to, if you had a meeting with a client, you wouldn't cancel it. But it's only because you've put it in yourself, you put that call in yourself, and you're thinking, well, do you know what? Yeah, I think we'll be all right. And, I can move it around and do other things. Well, you're now encroaching on your evening time. So work your calendar. What I do, I use Office 365 like many people, and I just dump all of my ideas into Planner. And then at the weekend, when it's quiet, there's no one around, normally on early doors on a Sunday morning, I then go through and I work the calendar, I populate the calendar. Now, what I do also is I also put in, and if there's any clients listening to this, then please turn off right now. I put in some slots in my diary, because I know that I'm going to get a client phone me up and say, can I take a quick call? Can you help me out with this? Do you need to do this? Do you need to do that? And if I've got my diary completely blocked out with business development tasks, then guess what? When the most important thing to me, which is about building my client base, phone up, I can't ring them. Now, I know that might be a slightly different scenario for yourselves. So make sure that you've got not only the diaries that you've got booked with other people, but your meetings, and also put some floating around your diary as well. But work that calendar and be disciplined, protect the time in that calendar, and that will really help you know it. Number 5 is about automating your bookings. So if people want to make a call with you, if they want to have an introductory call, if you're doing a bit of lead gen on LinkedIn and you want people to, book up a call to talk to you about your services, automate it. Make it as easy as possible. There's nothing worse than going, can you do Wednesday? No, I can't. Can you do Thursday morning? Oh, I can between 10 and 11, but not between 1 and 2. There's so many systems out there right now. As I say, Office 365 do it, Calendarly do it. There's loads of different types of calendar booking systems. If you're not using a calendar booking system for people to book time in your diary, then you're letting them disrupt and distract you at any time that they like. Choose when you want people to distract you. And we're going to come on to that in a minute. But get the tech involved, put it on your website, put it on your emails. If you want to book a call, whatever it is, select this slot. And it's easier for them because they can then have a look at it and make sure that the time suits them best. So step 6 is about eating frogs. Now, many of you may or may not have heard of an amazing book by Brian Tracy called Eat That Frog. And essentially what this is talking about is identifying when your most productive time of the day is. And normally that's first thing during the morning. And the frog is the horriblest, most boring task that you've been procrastinating and pushing back on for ages. A couple of things that Brian talks about in the book, or the main thing he sort of says in the book, he says, look, if you've got to eat a frog, then get it over and done with. So get the task over and done with. And also, if you're sitting there in the office with your cup of coffee and there's horrible green frog sitting next to you and you've got to eat it, don't stare at it. Just get on with it, because the longer you sit there and looking at it, it's not going to go away. It's not going to be done. The task was to eat the frog. The task might be a little bit more technical than that for you guys, but get it done first thing in the day and block that time out for those types of tasks that you've got going on early in the day. And identify your frogs. Identify what these horrible tasks are, the ones that you just can't be bothered with, that only you can do in the business. I'll say you can't be bothered with, but they're the ones that you procrastinate about, the ones that you push back. They're the easiest ones to go, I'll do that later, or I'll do that tonight. It'll be fine. But, when you get home tonight, jump back to your personal vision. I want to be spending time with the wife and the kids and, chilling out and giving my brain a bit of a rest. I don't want to be continually to keep working and to keep, having those thoughts going on about what have I got to do for work. Yeah, you can have times when projects are going to go, late and you need to work late at night. But as long as you communicate with people, then that's really important. The other thing that's kind of not quite related to that, but it's about making sure that you're eating and drinking properly. If you're on a low calorie diet or you're not eating properly and you're not fueling your body, you're not fueling your brain. If you're not fueling and hydrating your brain, then you're not going to be able to concentrate. You're not going to be able to, act in a correct manner. And you're also going to get yourself into stress because you're going to get tired. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to feel more and more overwhelmed. So make sure you eat properly. Make sure you drink lots of water throughout the day and keep yourself hydrated, particularly if you're drinking coffee, because as soon as you have a coffee, you start to get dehydrated. And make sure the middle of the day you go out and you have a little walk and you stretch your legs and you get the blood flowing around your body. When the blood's flowing around your body, blood flows around your brain, you can think better, you can concentrate better, and you can get onto the task in hand, and you'll achieve more in your day just by doing that thing itself. Number 7 is about avoiding distractions. Now, we talked a little bit about that with the calendar booking system and everything like that. And this is around managing and making sure that people don't disrupt you when you don't want to be disrupted. So a lot of people in business, someone comes to your desk or someone phones you up and says, have you got 5 minutes or have you got 10 minutes? If you pick your phone up when someone rings you, it basically says you're available. If it goes to voicemail, you have to call them back. Then they know that you're not available. You're in a meeting. You could be doing something. When I was doing a podcast with some guys from the States, beginning of this year, I asked one of the guys here, who was a very successful kind of analytics guy, AJ Yeager, his name was. And I said, what's your favorite app on your phone? And he said, it's Do Not Disturb. I went, what? He says, yeah, I just turn the phone off and I focus on what I need to do. I get that done and I'll turn the phone back on. So try and manage your distractions. Try and work out if someone's a serial distraction, they're either coming to your desk or they're always phoning you up. Make sure, obviously, the inquiry is not urgent. But then what you can do is you can just say to them, look, I'm really busy right now. Give me 30 minutes and I'll get back to you. And then you push them back and then they'll start to get the message that they can't just come and disrupt you. If they come and disrupt you, remember what we were talking about earlier on, about the 15 minutes here and the 15 minutes there, then, make sure that you eradicate those 15 minutes by staying on track yourself and eliminating your distractions. It's the same with emails. Every time an email comes up, pop comes a notification. Turn them off. If somebody wants you, they'll ring you. Emails are probably one of the slowest forms of communication right now. If people really need you, as I say, they're going to give you a ring. So don't allow it to distract you and disturb you each time you're pinging up the emails and you're getting distracted from that point of view. And lastly, but not least, Number 8 is all about getting an accountability buddy. Look, this is about discipline. Time management is around discipline. It's around making sure that you're picking the right things to do, you're selecting the right things to do, you're delegating the right thing, you're making sure you're allocating your time, and you're protecting it to make sure that you actually get it done to help you grow your business. Now, one of the things that I've learned very much for many years now is that when you've got accountability and when you've got somebody out there like a coach or a mentor or just even a buddy who's holding you to account, you're not only letting yourself down, you're going to be letting them down as well if you don't get something done. So one of the tactics that we use in the peer group is that we have a little chart and we tick across, when you've had a good day and you've protected your time and you've achieved what you've needed to achieve, then put a green box in, put a green tick in the box. If you didn't have a great day, put a red cross and think, how did that happen? Did I unforesee something? So I had a bit of a situation the other day where I had an employee who was coming back into the office, and I'd booked out that Monday with loads and loads of tasks. Now, he came back from holiday. I went to update him on what was going on. That took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. When I thought it was going to. Why didn't I think that was going to happen? So when that situation happens next time, guess what? There's going to be a bit of time in there to make sure we have a little bit of download time. Otherwise, all the things you need to do, and if they're client deliverables, they're going to get pushed into your evening, and then they're going to not let you have that time when you're chilling out. So get yourself an accountability buddy. It could be somebody in the office. It could be somebody in your peer group. It could be just a friend of yours, and just say, look, this is what I'm going to do. I want you to help me keep accountable so I can get more done and be more productive in my day. So kind of wrapping this one up, one of my favorite values is that we mentor from experience. So look, these tips and tricks have worked because I've done them myself, and I help the clients in the IT Experts Mastermind or the guys in the IT Experts community. This picture behind me, people are probably starting to wonder what on earth that is. I'm going to do a video about that because that is a picture which was a drawing from a talk that an amazing guy, Dr. John DeMartini, did. And this was all about values, and it was all about understanding how the values work in the world and why people do things and why people don't like doing things. And it's kind of a little bit around time management because it's around why you have motivation to do certain tasks, why you don't have motivation to do certain tasks. Look, I hope this has been of great use to you. Hopefully you're now going to go out and be more productive. I'd urge you to go back and listen to it once more. If we haven't connected over on LinkedIn, then feel free to drop over to LinkedIn and let me know that you've listened to this podcast and you've taken some value away from it. Maybe tell me what your best tip was. Pop it in the comments in the post as we're posting this out on social media. And hopefully that will help you become more productive, and you'll be able to go and listen to more podcasts over on Innovate to Success website. So that's it from me today. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. You look after yourself and go and be productive. Take care. So thanks very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, then please remember to subscribe, rate and review. I'd really appreciate that. And also check the show notes out for all the latest developments at the IT Experts Growth Academy. If we haven't already, then let's connect on LinkedIn, YouTube and over at our website at innovatetosuccess.com. Until next time, you look after yourself, and I'll catch up with you soon.